Once upon a time, in the magical realm of Hollywood, a kingdom known as Disney decided to resurrect a classic tale. But this was no ordinary fairy tale remake. The announcement of a new live-action Snow White stirred a cauldron of controversy, with a trailer that became the most disliked in YouTube history. From casting conflicts to fears of tarnishing a beloved classic, this Snow White adaptation seemed cursed from the start. Grab your poisoned apples and let's dive into the thorny tale of Disney's latest live-action debacle. Picture this, it's 2023 and Disney, the Emperor of Enchantment, decrees that Snow White shall live again, but this time in the flesh and blood of live action. However, much like the Evil Queen's magic mirror, the internet did not reflect back the fairest of receptions. When the trailer dropped, a tidal wave of dislikes flooded the YouTube kingdom, making it the most despised preview in the platform's history. Over 3 million subjects smashed that dislike button faster than you can say, "Hi-ho, it's home from work we go." The poison apple at the core of this controversy, the casting of Rachel Zegler, a Latina actress as the titular princess. In a twist of irony, Disney's attempt at modernizing through diverse casting ended up unleashing an avalanche of criticism, with cries of wokeness drowning out those singing the film's praises. But here's the thing, this Snow White snafu is just the latest chapter in Disney's chronicles of live-action letdowns. From Pinocchio to Peter Pan, it seems the Mouse House's magic touch turns to pyrite when bringing cartoon classics into the real world. Let's journey through the looking glass and examine how this fairy tale went fractured. But first, a word from our sponsor, Acme Exfoliating Apple Masks. Shed Wicked Witch-level wrinkles with our curse-breaking formula.
Snow White, a dark retelling. Blood glistens on fresh snow, 3 crimson droplets from the queen's pricked finger, staining the white courtyard beneath a silver moon. Deep within the castle, behind heavy tapestries, her obsidian mirror shimmers with an oily sheen. Night after night, Queen Ravenna sacrifices drops of her own blood for youth and beauty. Snow White matures in the shadow of this forbidden magic, blissfully unaware of the lethal gaze her stepmother casts upon her. Her skin gleams white as the snow, her lips redder than the blood that once fell into it, her hair black as midnight. Castle servants bow to her every wish, compelled by an otherworldly aura that leaves them spellbound. Lords grow entranced simply by her presence, while their wives mysteriously sicken. Desperate to avert the prophecy, the queen summons the huntsman, a man already soaked in the blood of children from distant border wars. For him she promises the impossible, redemption through unholy rites, if he will carve out Snow White's heart. Yet when the moment arrives in the forest, the huntsman's blade crumbles into rust at the princess's mere touch. Sensing a strange power within Snow White, he cannot fulfill his dark task. Fleeing deeper into the haunted forest, the princess navigates gnarled trees whose branches seem to groan warnings. Animals with unnervingly human eyes lead her to a subterranean refuge, where she meets dwarfs who have abandoned the surface world. These ancient beings take her in, but their kindness demands a price. The unearthly magic that clings to Snow White will protect them from the kingdom's encroachment, shielding their domain from greedy human hands. Enraged by betrayal, Queen Ravenna crafts a poisoned apple infused with a fragment of her own malevolence. Snow White falls into a living death within a glass coffin, trapped in a timeless dreamscape that the queen invades nightly, siphoning the princess's nightmares for her own twisted pleasure. Her reign of terror is upended when a prince, schooled in ancient lore, discovers Snow White's coffin. Recognizing the taint that preserves her, he orchestrates the accidental removal of the lethal morsel from her throat. The price is steep. In breaking the queen's spell, he binds himself, and future generations, to a curse that demands blood in payment. Snow White awakens, her innocence darkened by the very magic meant to destroy her. Meanwhile, the queen deteriorates at an accelerated pace, a year's aging passing in a single day, her beauty collapsing like rotted petals from a once perfect rose. Yet the triumph is not the story's end. Snow White and the prince ascend the throne, both uncannily youthful and burdened by their new power. Whispers echo through the castle halls. The princess's eyes gleam a little too brightly, and the mirror that once hung in the queen's hidden chamber now resides in Snow White's quarters, brimming with shadowed secrets that no one dares name.
History analysis. Let's rewind to the fateful day when Disney unveiled its plans for a live-action Snow White. The announcement was met with a mix of excitement and apprehension. After all, this was the movie that started it all for Disney way back in 1937. Tampering with such a revered classic was like juggling poisoned apples. One wrong move and you're in for a near-death slumber. Then came the casting bombshell. Rachel Zegler, fresh off her breakout role in West Side Story, would don the iconic blue and yellow gown. Cue the internet implosion. Cries of historical accuracy and forced diversity echoed through social media's halls. But here's the plot twist. Zegler's casting wasn't the only apple of discord. Fans also balked at the CGI-heavy visuals, lamented the absence of the original's hand-drawn charm, and raised concerns over Snow White romanticizing relationships that smack of necrophilia. I mean, a guy kissing what he thinks is a corpse? Not exactly a modern love story, yet the uproar over Snow White is but a symptom of a larger issue: Disney's struggle to capture the old magic in their live-action adaptations. It seems that in the quest to bring cartoon worlds to life, something gets lost in translation, that ineffable spark that made the originals timeless. So where does this leave us in the enchanted forest of remakes and reimaginings? Is Disney forever doomed to be the evil queen, endlessly seeking the secret to eternal relevance in its magic mirror? Or can they, like Snow White herself, find a way to evolve while staying true to what made us fall under their spell in the first place? Perhaps the lesson here is that not every animated classic needs a live-action reawakening. Some tales are best left to the realm of imagination, where true love's kiss is always just a dream away, and where princesses can be whoever we want them to be, regardless of the actress playing them. In the end, maybe we don't need a new Snow White at all. Maybe what we really need is to rediscover the magic within the stories we already have, the ones that have been with us since childhood, whispering timeless truths about courage, kindness, and the power of wishing upon a star. So, let's put down the poisoned apples of judgment and remember what Walt Disney himself once said: if you can dream it, you can do it. Even if that dream is a Snow White for a new generation, one that might look a little different, but still carries the same enchantment in her heart. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, this new Snow White will surprise us all and awaken a whole new era of live-action magic. After all, in the world of fairy tales, even the most unlikely heroes can save the day.